So, Woka Cola goes broke.
Get fucked.
I was actually telling Bezic this, right before we started, but during this segment, because I had to wake myself up for this, and I didn't get much sleep. I was like caffeine, so I grabbed like a Code Red Mountain Dew out of the refrigerator. I know, not very healthy. And then this segment comes on, and I'm like, shit, is Mountain Dew owned by Coca-Cola? And then I ended up looking it up, and I was like, oh, thank God they're owned by Pepsi.
God has been with you today.
Yes.
Bullet dodge.
It's glorious.
Yeah, that is actually an interesting piece of Coke trivia, is that originally Coca-Cola was made with cocaine in it.
Yep. And
Isn't
they
that just a
invented
myth?
Fanta because the Nazi... Fanta had something to
I
do with
know the
Nazis.
Nazis invented Fanta for some reason.
Yeah,
Nazis invented Fanta because they couldn't get the necessary resources to make actual cola, so they made Fanta instead.
Yeah, that sounds
You know,
about right. And then
yeah.
they made, what was it, clear Fanta for the Russians.
I've never even heard of that.
I'm
I'm guessing it had vodka in it. I don't know.
I mean, if doesn't have vodka in it, it would inevitably get vodka in it. Just saying.
Actually, Fanta orange and vodka is actually a pretty solid mix. Fanta invented by the Nazis, now owned by Woka Cola. That fucking sucks. Fucking great drink though. Coca-Cola, give me some money.
Capstashers found out where the standards come from. It's from the sniper in the trailer to the sniper in TF2.
No,
what is it again?
no, it's not. That's what he
Standards.
originally thought it was from.
Oh, was it?
That's what he originally thought, but they don't know about that. But it's like Ian Smith of Rhodesia. So yeah. Yeah, because apparently, after we beat the shit out of the Nazis, we were like, "Ooh, all this medical research is for me," and just kind of took it.
Oh, look at all this medical research made from the blood, sweat, and tears of innocent war prisoners and innocent human beings. Would be ashamed to just leave it here.
Yeah, I mean, why waste it? But also, fuck me.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not do it, but if someone else does, after we crush them, why not? why not just...
You think we're not doing it? We're strapping unborn babies to the backs of billionaires and cycling their blood through so that the adrenochrome can make them younger.
Jesus.
Yeah, didn't we find out that there was some bullshit where they glued two rats together and it was making the older rat younger? Rats, mice, same difference.
Yeah.
They didn't. I think it was mice.
Yeah, probably mice.
I mean, sure. Keep proving Alex Jones right. Keep proving the conspiracy theory and the living meme right to the point where he's becoming more and more like a goddamn prophet.
Yes.
Please keep doing that. Christ.
Yeah, but the other reason that this is the white pill is that it continues to prove for me, a continuation of the biggest political white pill in the US in 2021, which is that, right-wing city and state governments are waking up and actually being like, oh, we can do shit, and growing a pair and actively fighting back. There was uh, the pro-life legislation in states, which we'll get to later. The actual voting standards laws. The biological males shouldn't compete in women's sports laws, and now stuff like this. Oh, and banning critical race theory, and now it's yeah, fuck Coca-Cola. Why are we making government contracts with them when they're partisan propaganda for our political opposition?
Yeah, Prime Knight makes a good
How
point.
vibrant.
Coca-Cola, Nestle, and some other massive food companies need to get the bat. Yes, add to that Procter and Gamble, and what's the other one? I think it's Procter and Gamble, and all the shit there.
Prostitution eventually, I assume. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah. Robert Long,
inevitable natural progression.
yeah. To Robert Longshore, no, they're not putting. What is it? Fact check. They are not putting chemicals in the water that turn the frogs gay. They
No,
turn
they
the
turn
frogs
them
trans
trans.
instead.
Yep.
But you just know that that'd be there. Big red X, not true, completely made up, utter bullshit. And then when you read it, oh, they actually turn them transgender.
Yep.
I mean, the word soup people will probably be like, "Oh, this is a great victory! It can happen to frogs, then it probably can happen to people too! Yay!"
Yeah, except that people aren't frogs.
You know,
Yeah,
Frogs
can
aren't even
keep,
fucking
That's
mammals.
logical. That's
They can-
logic talking, dude. That's logic
you know,
talking.
they can keep fucking with the frogs if they want, but eventually there will be hell to pay. Eventually, like during the second plague of Egypt, the frogs will come out of the water, go ree, and like fucking utterly dominate the cathedral.
Coming out reeing from the fucking waters,
Yep.
like all demanding to get their fucking dicks back.
Yep.
I do
There
love
will
how-
be a resurgence of the second plague of Egypt.
I mean, that's why you're here.
Yep.
I do love how it ties in so well with the whole concept of Kekistan as well. The retarded frogs are rising up.
Exactly. Yeah, I picked the second plague of Egypt because that is like the perfect intersection point between Kekistan and Christianity.
Yeah,
Meme
It's,
magic. It's real. Yep.
Yes.
it
I've
is.
harnessed it.
The best part about these last few years, especially this last year, has been how the memes have just become alive.
Yeah.
So much shit. So much. It's just no. It turns out this shit is true. Who knew?
Which it's actually kind of funny because like Coke isn't the worst like example of the government funding like an obviously political group because like
Ben
I
and
mean at least with Coke, right? I mean they shouldn't, but like at least there it's like a transaction, right? It's not like it's not direct like government funding of Coke. It's like, yeah, we'll pay you for a service. It's more of like a contract work kind of thing. Which again, they still shouldn't do with Coke, and I'm glad that they're not. But what I think is honestly worse is like the incestuous relationship between the Democratic Party and Planned Parenthood, for example, where they're like, Planned Parenthood needs government money to be able to function, but also
government
they
money.
have
Don't you mean your tax money?
yeah, exactly.
You have to pay. You have to pay for this shit.
But then at the same time, it's like Planned Parenthood apparently has millions and millions of dollars left over to like donate to Democrat politicians. So they're obviously not hurting for cash. And you know the in terms of spending, the abortion lobby is actually just as big as the gun lobby. Like I know the left likes to complain about how much like the NRA donates to politicians and how that's evil and corrupt, but Planned Parenthood does like just as much donating. And the difference is like, you know, and I'm not saying like companies or whatever shouldn't be allowed to donate to politicians, but if you have the money to like donate to politicians and if you are donating to political campaigns, then you shouldn't get any taxpayer money because that's just an incestuous relationship of like, hey, give me money and then I'll give you taxpayer money. And because I'm giving you taxpayer money, you continue to give me taxpayer money. Like that's just so incestuous. And so that is worse than the Coca-Cola thing. But regardless, I'm glad that the right decision with Coca-Cola.
Well, we do know that that kind of people are really into incest. So you know that and having affairs with younger people.
Yes, much younger people.
Yeah, I mean, just like shoot into a crowd of Antifa, and you're bound to hit a pedophile.
Well, that's it. You shoot into a crowd of Antifa, hit 3 people. One of them's a convicted criminal, and the other's a pedophile.
Yeah, was the other one a wife beater?
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Antifa's full of criminals.
Not really that surprising anymore.
So, Caps was helpful and gave us the link to the paper on the mice. Young blood reverses age-related impairments in cognitive function and synaptic plasticity in the mice. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, here's the thing. At least now we can be more confident that they haven't taken this up to the human level yet. Because if it reduces age-related impairments and cognitive function, and they were already doing this, then Biden would be, much sharper.
Maybe he's in the back of the queue.
He is doing well for 200.
You do have Hillary and Kamala. You do have Hillary, Kamala, and not to fucking mention Nancy Pelosi.
Well, Kamala's not that old, is she?
Do you honestly think she'll be put behind Biden? I mean, if they try to put her behind Biden, she'll just look the guy who makes the choice dead in the eyes and just...
No, but
look, Pelosi we all know that...
Well, Pelosi has her brain short-circuiting moments, too. Do you not remember when she was being interviewed and randomly went, "Good morning, Sunday morning"? And the interviewer's just like, "What the fuck am I witnessing?"
Oh,
Jesus.
God. She is, what's the word? She is, she's like Isma, She's like Isma from Emperor's New Groove. That's it.
Yeah.
Isma reminds me about...
Evil and incompetent.
Isma. Yes! Most likely mixing some kind of weird potions in her cellar or some shit.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I'm pretty sure of this. During the entirety of the whole, impeach Trump part, she didn't do it just because she hated Trump or some shit. She did it because she want to hate fuck the guy. That's the only excuse for her being so goddamn dogged to take him down.
Yeah.
It's a horrible mental image.
Indeed.
You're welcome.
But we all know that Trump clearly has better standards than that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why do you think they want to remove standards?
Oh God.
I'd rather shoot myself. I'd rather shoot myself.
Yes, it would not be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Nightmare fuel.
Yep. So, kick Coca-Cola out of government. Yeah, it definitely seems like a plan.
Yeah, I mean, it should have happened a long time ago, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, that is like a great point that I think was brought up, where it's like, no, the left is willing to do all of this shit, and then people just default to the left because they don't want to have to deal with it. And so I'm not sure how realistic this is, but I think there should be kind of a Newtonian principle of self-defense, where it's like, look, if this is not being politicized, we're not going to throw our weight in there. But like the second the left wing starts politicizing something, like, there needs to be like a counter cancel culture effect, right? Where it's like, like,
I think
if you're bending the cancel culture,
we just need to go full McCarthy. If we smell communism, destroy it.
Not against
it needs to be fucking like Newton's second law. Otherwise, they're just going to keep on doing this over and over again, and like infesting every like institution like a bunch of termites, and then rotting it from the inside.
I mean, I just say it's human civilization, not commie, that dominates this planet now and always. Just saying.
Yeah.
Would you like to learn more?
Definitely.
Yes. So, speaking of Coca Cola and their support for crime and depravity, what month is it?
Oh,
It's
Pride Month.
No. It's Salim Bradley
Salim Bradley month.
Yes. Salim Bradley month, as our dear second said on our Discord server. And I'm so happy you said that because now I like June again.
Oh man.
Christ.
Well,
I mean,
Black
you
History
should be
Month.
okay with what you are. That I'm just saying you should be okay with who you are. It doesn't matter if you fuck dudes, chicks, or trees, as long as you don't do it in front of me or anything that belongs to me.
I don't know.
Do
I
what
think
you
there's
want to do with it,
something.
as long as it doesn't harm anyone.
I think there's something degenerate about someone fucking a tree.
I've been exposed to other human beings, and a tree is still. Oh God! The people.
Look,
The people.
at least if they're fucking trees, they're not fucking children.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone who fucks a child deserves a woodchipper.
Yes.
Yep.
Always.
But I don't think it is just about the harm question or about the consent question. I do think there is a matter of sexual
Virtue.
sanctity. Yeah, exactly. Where is the virtue? Yeah, exactly.
It isn't a goddamn meme either. It's actual truth in it. What's so virtuous about introducing a child, the innocent and, unspoiled part of humanity, to something as degenerate as that? How much of a sicko
God.
do you have to be?
Bezek, are you able to pull up those?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, are you looking for it right now?
What?
The
Oh yeah, that
the
one.
Screenshots.
Yes. The drones of oh god. The drones of Glee or some bullshit.
See, they made it even cringier now that they've added the black and brown stripe to it.
Yeah, because black and brown skin is a sexuality now. But then again,
you see that's the thing. That's the thing. That is the proof that in the U.S. at least, black people are at the top of the intersectional progressive stack. Because
I just want to say that this is a really impressive Photoshop.
Yeah,
because the BLM sign, the flag and the D looks like it doesn't quite fit there. They're a bit too flat. But the Black Lives Matter logo, it looks like it's fucking there.
Well, I actually think the Black Lives Matter one was an original Photoshop that was done a couple of months back, and now they've added all the other stuff.
Oh man, supporting terrorism. Wonderful.
Primed Knight says, according to critical race theory, dark skin is a disability. Yep. This is open to black people, women, and the disabled, and what they all have in common. Well, leave up to your imagination, says the leftist.
Yeah.
That's it. I think they do it on purpose just to set us up to be once again offending people, so they can fucking drag you down on it. It has to be.
That's right, Cap Sasher. Yellow and red are in the rainbow. I mean, shit. What is red for, Elizabeth Warren?
Communism.
Oh, Lord.
What makes the red man red?
You are the last. No, he can.
Yeah. Hey, I can joke about it. You can't. I'm 132nd Native American, so you need a.
And I'm Norwegian. I ignore your American ideals. Screw you.
And I am directly descended from the British who conquered all you fuckers over there in that country you call America.
And not only that, you're also descended from British criminals, the hardcore people. Strange how your ruling class are completely inept.
Well, the ruling class is only criminals.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I'll tell you one better. I'm descended from the one group of revolutionaries that actually created a better world after the revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally the only time that's ever happened.
What a fucking
Okay.
historic feat right there.
Maybe the secret is how you color your flag, because you're the only revolution that is color your flag red, white, and blue. I mean, everyone else just used red, so they only do part 1 of a revolution. Crimes against humanity.
Yes, the founding fathers were very familiar with virtue, human nature, which is why the founding fathers were able to ask, yes, we may have our revolution, but where is the virtue? You know,
Freedom.
which is why it worked.
And personal responsibility.
Yep.
And a certain lack of degeneracy, but hey, I'm only making assumptions here.
Well, yeah, I love how they designed the government with the thought process of, oh god, people are fucking corrupt idiots. How do we make this as difficult as possible for people to, like, screw over the public with?
Isn't that why the Electoral College was created?
Among other things, yeah.
I think one of the major reasons was, how do we stop the fuckwits on the coast from screwing over the farmers?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, and it's also like, you know, there was supposed to be some incentive for the state governments to be able to retain their authority and not just have it all get sucked up by the federal government. And one of the ways, actually, another check on that was that senators. So, like, we have a bicameral Congress where it's like we have the House of Representatives, which are meant to represent the population of the country. And then we have the Senate, where it's like 2 senators from each state. Now, the senators were supposed to represent the state governments, so they would get appointed by the state governments. The idea was that
check in general. I like the Count Dankula tweet he posted 7 years ago today. An entire town found out.
But the point of the Senate and senators being appointed by state governments is that there was supposed to be one body of Congress that would have a vested interest in maintaining the authority and sovereignty of state governments. But I forget which amendment it was. It was like the 16th, 17th, 18th, or 19th. That,
but I thought Palpatine was the Senate.
Yeah, that instantiated the direct election of senators. And because of that, the Senate just became another body of, like, everyone in the country screeching, like, how do I force my worldview on everyone else in the country? So that check was kind of gotten rid of.
Wonderful.